Hi, my name's Jamie Benson. I'm a dancer, choreographer, instructor, and a whole slop of other stuff, and I'm here to hopefully spew forth some useful crap for you. Help you and me get paid to do the things that we're passionate about outside of the antiquated 9-to-5 lifestyle.
I mean, screw that stuff, am I right?
Alright, today we've been challenged by the blog Stance on Dance, that's stanceondance.com, to answer the question, how do you fund your work as an individual artist? I'm glad you asked, Stance on Dance. I have been a grant writer / development person since 2007 in both New York City and LA, been to a million seminars on this topic, and raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for various nonprofit organizations.
Some of them are getting awarded money right now from stuff that I did. Yeah, I should have been paid more. You're probably right. Thanks, Internet.
My point is, I know something of what I speak. It's time to take my years of servitude, take all that information that I've learned and use it to empower you as creative folk. Grants. Sure, grants are the easiest, first thought, standard response when thinking about funding, but are they all they're cracked up to be? Yes and no. Yes, you should definitely be exploring the option of getting grant funding to produce your creative work, but you shouldn't hang your hat up on it, plop down on the couch, crack open a six-pack, and think that you've solved any cases. Where to find grants? For a focused start, the low-hanging fruit, is that the right gesture? You're going to want to ask your peers or visit the websites of those you wish were your peers. And also stalk your rivals' websites, one of my favorite things to do. Because legally, if they're getting grant funding, they most likely have to put it on their site somewhere. Do a Google search. Yes, you're going to have to Google search like you do with anything. Keywords would be your industry. For me, it's dance. Your location, be specific. Mine's New York City. And then throw in the word council or foundation or philanthropy, grants. Do some play on combinations there, and you're bound to stumble into a bunch of viable options. Get on the email list of those foundations, councils, what have you. Follow them on social media, and you'll notice the opportunities will start coming to you. You won't have to desperately search so much anymore. Limitations. Because grants are often directly or indirectly related to government organizations or entities, you'll likely have some underserved community that they'll want you to serve with their money. Also, it's ridiculously competitive, like mind-blowingly competitive. So that is a limitation. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, but it's something to put in the brain. Expect a learning curve. If you're not used to doing academic writing or technical writing, it's maybe a bit of an uphill battle at first. Traps to avoid. Don't become a nonprofit unless it's really necessary. Start with a fiscal sponsor. And there's helpful things below in the description field and links to help you figure out how to do that. 2, don't change what you're doing to fit what the grant is for. So if the grant is for at-risk children or to serve veterans, but you don't want to do necessarily, you wouldn't think to do that work in the first place, don't apply for it. It's a common trap to try to create work out of thin air to suit a granting organization. I'm definitely guilty of that. Don't skim the eligibility and criteria of the grant you're interested in. Because if you take all this time to put together a proposal and you missed a little bullet point to fine print that shows that you're not even eligible to be applying, you've wasted a bunch of time. So I'm trying to save you that time, because time is the ultimate money, is it not? All right, next. Grants, check. Commissions, you're going to want to look for work that pays you. Commission is another way to word that. And performing for free or exhibiting for free is acceptable for a while, but you're going to have to draw the line somewhere. And even if the things you're applying for don't have commissions or artist compensation attached to it, proposition them. Maybe start with the word stipend. Stipend is a not intimidating way to ask for moolah. Sounds easy, but people forget that. Private functions, another great option for making money. Some of your work may have viable uses for, dare I say, entertainment value. So if a corporation is put on events. I mean, those kids, you may have worked at a corporation before, they need the morale boost. So there may be an avenue for that. So maybe start with the people you know. Maybe start with just performing for individual parties. Talk to the people you know, make sure that they're aware that you're available at a price for a party. Even if the work you do you think is too avant-garde or too strange, there are individuals that's going to resonate with, and then they can give you money for that, right? Create a space on your website where people visiting your website learn, oh my gosh, I can buy these people to come and impress my friends at parties. Totally viable. By performing for them a few times, you create the relationship to where when you need sponsorship, maybe that corporation you perform for, those individuals that have more money than you, or any money at all, we'll take what we can get, am I right? They could become sponsors. It's an option too. Teaching, of course, is a viable way to make money off of the goods that is your brain and your body and what you know. Believe it or not, you know more about something, if not some things, than somebody else. There's money to be gained there. Teach something, make it donation-based even. Build teaching into the model of whatever you're working on. So if you have a dance company or something of that matter, or rehearsals, before you have a rehearsal, have a class that's open for the public. They throw in some money in the hat, in the envelope, in the bucket, whatever. Be creative about what they put money in. And then maybe they'll stay for the rehearsal and get to learn more about you too. Okay, get digital is another option too. Udemy is a website. There are others like it, but I think this one works well, where you set up a profile and you teach. You make courses, online courses, and people pay you to learn what you got in your brain. Another good option. Now, everything I'm going to say next is for people that have a larger following. If you don't have a larger following, doesn't mean you can't try these things, but it might be something you work up to. Regardless, these are other ways that I've made money in the past. Crowdfunding. Okay, duh, right? But what I found, unless you have a really engaged larger audience, sometimes it's hard to make these stick or to make a lot of money. That being said, you want a compelling story? Take your hardships in life and put that into the description of the work. People relate to that. Don't just say the who, what, when, where, why. Make sure you create a video and get creative with your incentives. So never underestimate how important people are to themselves. Offer them more than just the option to fund your dream. I see a lot of crowdfunding where people just say, fund my dream, I deserve it. Do you? And I've heard before, people that think they love me were on the fence about donating to a project, but really wanted that incentive at the $200 level or whatever, because I had fun with it. And that's what pushed them over the edge. Also, push your crowdfunding campaigns, people. If you build it, they will not come. It's not like that anymore. I've heard a marketing term, lingo, I've heard it takes 10 touches for anyone to do anything you want them to do. So that might mean, even if they were planning on donating, they may not actually do it unless they see it 3 times on Facebook, 3 times on Twitter, 2 emails in their inbox about it, 1 word of mouth. Like, you're going to have to hit them up in several different ways. That's the only way people will really rise to the occasion. So that's for crowdfunding. Now you can also monetize your website. Again, this works better if you have a larger following, but we're working up to that. If you're not there yet, it's okay. Start putting that in your mind and on the real estate that is your website, okay? So advertising space is one. Get people to pay to put their ads on your site. You can also do affiliate marketing, which is a fancy way of saying, okay, they put their ad up. They don't pay you any money, but if someone, you put your ad up, if someone clicks through, is that the right gesture? Clicks through to this partner's website and they buy something, you get a cut of that money, okay? So that's affiliate marketing. You could also just screw it into a membership site. So people pay a certain amount, maybe $5 every month, for all that good content that you're putting out to the world, whether it's videos, articles, whatever, your baby pictures. Make them pay for it. Besides all this in your work, you want to also nurture and maximize all of your assets in order to fund your work. For instance, I am a marketing and development person. I had years experience making money and getting people press and what have you. So now I make people pay me to go places and talk about how I did it, public speaking. So if you're comfortable speaking and you've accomplished anything, you could make money talking about it with other people. Also, if you like to write, you can do the same thing. Take anything that you have experience in, whether it's a great story or knowledge, type it all out and send it to people who will give you money for it. Again, there will be in the description field some links to help you do some of these things. All right, do I know everything about funding individual artists? No, I'm still figuring it out too. But I have found that all the things that I've babbled about here today have worked for me on some level before. I'm sharing that with you, trying to get you up and running as well. So do yourself a favor, keep the conversation going. Visit jamiebenson.com, subscribe to my YouTube channel and my email list, and follow me on Twitter at jamiebenson.com. And round of applause for Stance on Dance. Are you applauding? I can't hear you. Okay, good. Thank you, stanceondance.com, for asking these really important questions. Guys, please go over there and visit them and follow them on Facebook and Twitter. And they're having really crucial conversations about art making. So let's all work together and make some shiz happen, okay? Comment below, ask questions. I'll try to answer them all. Tell us what's worked for you. This is just a jumping off point. So go make some money. Go make some money. Go make some money. Thank you very much. Bye.